Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching the earwax removal compilation video today. I hope you guys are all well. Feels like I haven't seen you for ages. So what you can see on here, this particular patient, we got some very the very loose wax here at the entrance to the canal. Now this is because the patient's been oiling these ear canals really well. So a lot of this wax has started to loosen and break apart slightly. So you can see these little sort of chunky bits here right at the entrance of the canal. So we're just going to lift this piece up, and it's managed to stay together really nicely. So I've managed to get it up so far up to the canal, but you can see the entrance to the canal itself is actually quite narrow. It's more this sort of oval shape than the kind of rounder shape, which means it's got a little bit stuck. It won't come through. So we're going to have to bring the Jobson horn in here, just flicking over the top of this wax and scooping this forwards. There you go. You can just see it all just starting to come out of the ear canal now. There we go, out to the entrance. All the little tiny pieces. As we were bringing this out, the next pieces were coming away. You can see as it came out of the ear canal, it all kind of unfolded and broke apart in the actual bowl of the ear there. So you can see that large piece just taken away. There's a little bit left at the bottom. You can see the eardrum there. Eardrum itself looking a little bit on the dull side. Now patients are experiencing, obviously with the very warm weather over here, there's lots of hay fever and other bits and pieces doing the rounds at the moment. So anything that gives you that kind of middle ear fluid, that sort of full up head coldy sensation is going to have a knock-on effect on these ears as well. And I think that's where some of this dullness is coming from. But we've just got this last little piece to take away. There we go. Let's get rid of that for you, and we'll take a good look behind. Because there was a lot of oil in the ear canal as well, there's a slight bit of misting to the camera, but this is what it looked like to start with. You can see those little chunks, and there's the eardrum, so lovely and clear afterwards. This is what we removed. So we've got 1/8 of an inch, just over 2.5 centimeters, I would say that is there. But you can see the color difference as well. That very light material there is the dry skin material, and those darker plugs are those harder bits of wax that were sitting just inside the entrance to the canal. Stay tuned, guys. We've got quite a few different ones for you to see today. Is quite a few different types of earwax removal. Now this one's quite an interesting one. You take a look at this eardrum, and on first glance it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty clear, but when you go in and take another look, we'll see that I've put a lot of olive oil in here, because you can see you've got this layer that's built up over the eardrum. See how that sort of rippled effect to the top left-hand corner of the drum? We're working on some dry patches of skin and drier wax here to the bottom right corner first of all. So I'm just going to start to lift this up. You can see it just starting to come away from the canal and peel down the one side of the canal. So this is a very thin, tight wax. Now you do get this quite a bit if somebody's used maybe a wax softening drop, quite an aggressive one like a peroxide drop or a bicarb drop, or sometimes if a patient's had a bit of an outer ear infection and they get a little steroid spray that goes in there, it can soften the wax and it re-hardens them. Because it's been liquid, it kind of flows everywhere and then hardens back up into this much tougher shell, this much tougher sort of layer you can see. The reason I put so much olive oil in here is because when you've got a very thin layer like this, as soon as you lift it from the canal, it naturally wants to flop back to where it was and re-stick again. The olive oil just stops it from doing that. So you can see we've got a hold of this lovely piece here from the side of the canal wall. There we go. Let's get rid of that first of all. Out that comes. And then we're going to take a look behind that again so we can see. There we go, fine end on here as well. The reason we're using the fine end, guys, if you use the bigger standard size tube here, when you're peeling, it's not great. But when you've got the fine end, you can just make out the edges. It's much easier to lift without digging into the canal wall. Don't forget, it's very sensitive in this particular part of the ear canal and can bleed very easily, because all those blood vessels are sitting just below the surface of the skin. So if you scrape or scratch along the top of the skin, it's going to cause a couple of issues. Look at that peel away there, guys. Look how it's coming off the eardrum as well. One big continuous dry sheet that's going all the way over the drum and that canal wall. Oh, tough there. It wants to come away. See how what I was telling you about, it naturally wants to flop back to its original position. You can see I'm peeling it away, getting it away from the canal wall. And as soon as you let go, it naturally, there you go, goes all the way back to where it was to start with. Always difficult ones to do. So I'm just going to go back in now. Ideally here, I think what we would do is try and reposition this piece. Try and get it to stay away from the canal wall, and we may be able to get a crocodile forceps jaw just underneath it to pull it through. Is this going to peel? You can see I've managed to get it across to the other side. Oh, if I switch position, just aim a little bit higher, it really, you can see it flopping just over the front of the eardrum there. So this is all dead skin. As far as what the patient's going to experience at this point, it's just noise. It's not going to be uncomfortable because it is all dead skin. That's come away really nicely. You can see that layer that was down over the eardrum as well there, guys. So this is coming away really, really nicely. Out that comes. Just get rid of the rest of it. Oh, thanks very much to everyone who sent me a get well soon message in the comments as well, guys. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't feel very well last Thursday. I was gutted because it was the day I was going to do my voiceover for you guys. But you can see that eardrum. Yes, it looks a little bit dull. Understandably so. It's had this layer sort of light over the top of it. So that's why it looks a little bit dull on that side. But patient hearing so much better. Would have been very easily missed. So we've got a centimetre there, 3/8 of an inch, I'm going to call that. You could go 7/16 if you want. I'm just kidding. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch is fine. And you'll see this patient here very different to the last one. We've got this very wet wax here at the entrance to the canal. Wet wax, probably one of my least favorite ones to do. I like the big chunky stuff that's in the ear canals. But you can see here, we've got this very soft wax. Why is it this soft? Patient has thrown every wax softening drop known to people in here. So basically it's just gone over soft, which means it goes mushy and sticky and goes everywhere it shouldn't be. So we're just trying to get rid of this first of all. Now, usually in this kind of wax, there'll be in the middle, there'll be this kind of hard and nugget. That's the one you want to get hold of to bring the rest of this out. The softer stuff all gets sucked inside the tank, and it's you know, you keep going in and it's just more of it gets sucked inside. But we've got hold of it a slightly harder bit just here. You've always got to be careful with these slightly softer ones because they'll break apart really easily. So if you do get hold of a good piece, you have to sort of very gently maneuver it and try and unstick it and bring it down the canal. You can see it is coming away there. We have to take the suction tube out a lot more often as well with this particular type of wax removal, just because the softer wax gets sucked inside the machine. So we've got a very thin metal tube, which is what you can see here. And all those softer bits of wax all start to line the inside of the tube. So your suction power starts to reduce. So we have to flush it through with water every so often just to get rid of all the bits from the inside. There we go. I did see somebody in the TikTok comments asked if there was somebody sucking on the other end of that straw. I can assure you there is not, because it wouldn't be very nice. So you can see this is what it looks like to start with, and this is what it looks like after, so a lot clearer on that side. No, I can assure you there is nobody sucking on the other end of the straw, guys. It does go into a tank with a suction pump. So you can see here, very dry looking wax, this one. This looks like a combination of skin, wax, all mixed together here. I think this is going to come away, if it doesn't come away as one piece, it's going to come away some big chunky bits. It depends what happens with this first piece. If this first piece pulls the rest, it's all going to come away nicely. Oh, it looks like it is. Look at that coming away. There we go. As we draw this forwards, you can see the dry skin coming away, drawing that wax from deeper and pulling it down the canal. There we go. Out that comes. A real kind of tough husk of skin and wax, that one. There we go, there's the eardrum looking good. There's a little bit of loose sort of debris here at the bottom. Let's just give that a quick tidy up. Is that going to come away nicely? Yeah, there you go. Let's get rid of that bit. So there's the eardrum looking good. So this is what it looked like to start with. And this is what it looks like afterwards. You can see very different. So it's what we've got there, just over, well, I'd say just under 1.5 centimeters on that one, 1/2 inch. So a nice big sort of dry plug on that side. We can see very different colors as well from wax. This drier skin material gives the wax a naturally lighter color. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. Don't forget to leave me some comments in the section below. Give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. That would be absolutely fantastic. But as always guys, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and I shall and take care of your ears. Forgot that bit. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye everyone.